Does this sound familiar? It's 3 in the morning. The house is dead silent. You're fast asleep, but suddenly your brain sounds an alarm. Your bladder is demanding immediate attention. Reluctantly, you throw back the warm covers. You stumble through the dark, feet hitting the cold floor as you head to the bathroom. Then you crawl back into bed, only to toss and turn for hours. This happens every single night. Once, twice, sometimes even 3 times. By morning, you're a complete wreck. It feels like you didn't sleep at all. But what if I told you this nightmare could finally end? And you can do it without expensive pills or complicated procedures. Today, we're revealing an ancient secret, a remedy used by the legendary healer Avicenna centuries ago. All you need is one simple ingredient and exactly 60 seconds of your time before bed. Are you ready to reclaim your sleep and finally rest through the night? Make sure to watch this video until the end, because the truth will surprise you. Right now, let me know in the comments, how many times do you usually wake up during the night? Let's dive in. Before we get to the recipe, let's travel back 1,000 years. Ibn Sina, better known in the West as Avicenna, was a brilliant Persian physician and scholar. His masterpiece, The Canon of Medicine, served as the ultimate medical textbook for doctors worldwide for 500 years. Avicenna didn't just treat symptoms, he looked for the root cause. He understood that the human body is a single, complex system. If one organ is struggling, a completely different one might send the signal. Back then, there were no modern labs or ultrasound machines. Yet Avicenna had a profound mastery of the properties of plants, spices, and minerals. He noticed that frequent nighttime waking drains a person's vital energy. The ancient healer described a condition we now call nocturia, and he discovered a surprisingly simple way to calm an overactive bladder. This method relies on powerful, natural antispasmodics. And the most fascinating part, modern science fully confirms that this ancient method actually works. First, let's look at why we wake up in the middle of the night in the first place. A lot of people assume it's just a normal part of getting older, or maybe they just had 1 too many cups of tea before bed. But in reality, frequent trips to the bathroom are your body's way of asking for help. In medical terms, this is called nocturia. It isn't a disease in itself. It's a major red flag that something in your system is out of balance. When you sleep, your body is supposed to be resting and repairing itself. Normally, your kidneys slow down urine production, and your bladder relaxes and expands to hold that fluid comfortably until morning. But with nocturia, this mechanism breaks down. Your bladder becomes overactive. It starts contracting and sending false signals to your brain, even when it's only 1/3 full. You wake up feeling like you're about to burst, only to find there's hardly any fluid at all. It's frustrating and exhausting. Your brain can't drop into those deep, restorative stages of sleep because it's constantly on high alert, waiting for the next urge. The result? You never actually get the rest you need. Why is fragmented sleep so dangerous? Let's be honest. If you're getting up to use the bathroom 2 or more times a night, you're missing out on the most critical part of your rest. You're robbing yourself of deep sleep. Think of deep sleep as your body's deep cleaning phase. This is when your brain flushes out toxins, your cells regenerate, and your immune system strengthens its defenses. But most importantly, this is when your body produces essential hormones. Take growth hormone, for example. It's responsible for repairing tissue and burning fat, and it's produced almost exclusively during deep sleep. When your sleep is constantly interrupted, that vital process is cut short. The result? You age faster. Your immunity plummets. You even start putting on weight, even if you're barely eating. Beyond that, broken sleep wreaks havoc on your nervous system. You become irritable, forgetful, and anxious. You can't focus at work, and your entire day becomes a constant struggle against exhaustion. All of this just because your bladder won't let you get a full night's rest. It's a vicious cycle, and it's one you need to break right now. You've probably tried to solve this in what seems like the most logical way, by cutting off all fluids after 6 p.m. It's a common mistake, and today we're going to debunk this myth once and for all. Think about what happens when you stop drinking. Your mouth gets dry, you're thirsty, but you push through it, hoping an empty bladder will finally let you sleep through the night. But here's the reality. When you're dehydrated, your urine becomes highly concentrated, becoming packed with salts, acids, and toxins. This harsh, concentrated fluid sits in your bladder and begins to irritate its sensitive lining. Your bladder senses this irritation as a threat and starts to spasm. It sends an urgent signal to your brain. Wake up. We need to get rid of this now. And here's the paradox. You haven't had a drop to drink all evening, yet you're still wide awake at 2 a.m. Only this time, that trip to the bathroom might even come with a slight discomfort or a burning sensation. Restricting your water intake isn't the answer. In fact, it's only making the problem worse. Let's dive a bit deeper. Our bodies produce a remarkable hormone called vasopressin, also known as the antidiuretic hormone. Its main job is to send a clear signal to the kidneys. Hey, it's time for bed. Stop producing so much urine and hold on to that water until morning. In a healthy person, levels of this hormone spike at night. This is exactly what allows us to sleep for 7 or 8 hours straight without ever needing a bathroom break. But as we age, or when we're under constant stress, this production gets disrupted. The kidneys simply don't get the message to rest. They keep filtering blood and producing urine at their daytime pace, which quickly fills the bladder. In this situation, no amount of dieting or cutting back on water will really help. The issue is that your internal chemical factory is out of sync. Centuries ago, the great physician Avicenna didn't have a word for vasopressin, yet he perfectly described the condition where nighttime fluid outweighs the daytime. He understood that you shouldn't just treat the bladder itself. You have to calm the entire system that regulates fluids in the body. His methods were specifically designed to restore that essential internal harmony. Another hidden enemy of a good night's rest is chronic stress. Imagine living in a constant state of high alert, constantly juggling work pressure, family worries, and financial struggles. In response, your body floods your system with cortisol, the primary stress hormone. This hormone keeps your entire nervous system on edge, and your internal organs are no exception. Think of your bladder as a muscular sac, woven with a dense network of sensitive nerves. When cortisol levels skyrocket, These nerves become hypersensitive, reacting to even the slightest expansion of the bladder walls. The bladder begins to contract at the smallest provocation. It becomes like a tightly wound spring, ready to snap at any moment. You lie down to sleep, and while your body might feel relaxed, that internal tension remains. Even a tiny amount of fluid triggers a powerful urge, and you find yourself heading to the bathroom once again. Ancient medicine often referred to this as an excess of wind or internal tremors. Healers of the past understood a simple truth. To calm these urges, you must first release the deep-seated muscular and nervous tension within the body. We can't ignore the growing crisis of insulin resistance and prediabetes. It's truly the epidemic of our time. If you often crave late-night sweets or load up on heavy carbs, your blood sugar is on a constant roller coaster. When there's too much sugar in your system, your kidneys try to flush it out by diluting it with water. This is exactly why people with high blood sugar find themselves running to the bathroom all the time. But there's a deeper, less obvious problem. High sugar levels damage the delicate blood vessels and nerves that support your bladder. As a result, the bladder loses its elasticity and sensitivity. Think of an old balloon that's turned stiff and rigid. It just won't stretch anymore. Your bladder becomes like that. It can't hold a normal amount of fluid, so it signals you to go as soon as it starts to fill. Even the ancient physician Avicenna recognized this, focusing heavily on diet and describing the many illnesses born from what he called sweet blood. For men, there's another very specific reason for those restless nights: the prostate. As men get older, this gland often begins to enlarge, a condition known as BPH. The prostate sits right below the bladder, surrounding the urethra. When it grows, it starts to squeeze that tube. Think of it like stepping on a garden hose. The flow becomes weak and restricted. Because of this, the bladder never fully empties, and that leftover fluid acts as a constant irritant. Your bladder is then forced to work twice as hard to push liquid through the narrowed passage. Over time, the bladder walls become thick, stiff, and hypersensitive. This is why the urge to go keeps coming back, especially at night when you're lying down. For women, a similar struggle is often linked to weakened pelvic floor muscles, which can no longer hold the bladder firmly in place. In both cases, the key to relief lies in restoring healthy muscle tone and reducing inflammation. This brings us to Avicenna's core philosophy. In his legendary Canon of Medicine, he introduced a concept known as the cold bladder. Now, don't take that literally. It doesn't mean the organ is actually covered in ice. In traditional medicine, cold represents a lack of vital energy, poor circulation, and muscle sluggishness. Avicenna believed that frequent trips to the bathroom at night, especially if the urine is clear and abundant, are a telltale sign of excess cold and moisture in the lower body. Essentially, the body lacks the internal heat needed to hold on to fluids. The kidneys lose their grip, and the pelvic muscles lose their tone. To solve this, the master healer suggested remedies that warm the organs from the inside out, boosting blood flow and restoring strength. He strictly advised against drinking cold liquids before bed. Instead, he recommended using specific seeds and spices that are warming by nature. This very principle of internal warming is the foundation of the secret we're about to dive into right now. So, what is the great secret of Avicenna? What is this miracle remedy that can finally give you a peaceful night's sleep? It isn't a rare root from the mountains of Tibet or some expensive over-the-counter potion. In fact, it's likely sitting in your kitchen cabinet right now, tucked away with your other spices. I'm talking about ordinary dried cloves. That's right, those tiny brown buds we usually save for marinades or holiday drinks. In ancient medicine, cloves were worth their weight in gold. They were considered one of the most powerful treatments for cold ailments. Avicenna himself wrote that cloves warm the stomach, liver, and kidneys, while also strengthening the bladder to prevent incontinence. But here's the real secret. It's not just about the cloves themselves. The true mystery lies in exactly how you use them. If you simply swallow a clove or wash it down with water, the effect will be minimal. Your stomach acid will quickly destroy those healing essential oils before they can do their job. To make this remedy work like an emergency brake for your bladder, you need a completely different approach. Let's take a look at cloves through the lens of modern science. Why does this ancient remedy actually work? The secret lies in its main active compound, eugenol. This is a potent natural substance with some truly remarkable properties. First, it acts as a powerful natural antiseptic and anti-inflammatory. It gently cleanses the urinary tract, clearing out the bacteria that often cause hidden irritation. But here is the most important part. Eugenol is a natural antispasmodic and a mild anesthetic. Once it enters your system, it relaxes the smooth muscles and eases the tension in the bladder walls. Those false signals, the ones that make you feel like your bladder is full, are simply blocked. The nerve endings calm down, allowing the bladder to hold more fluid without that sudden sense of urgency. Additionally, cloves boost circulation in the pelvic area, eliminating the stagnation and cold that the great physician Avicenna once described. It's a perfect natural mechanism for fine-tuning your urinary health. Now, here is the most important part, the 60-second rule. To get an instant effect from cloves, here is exactly what you do. Take 1 or 2 whole dried cloves and put them in your mouth. Don't swallow. Start chewing them slowly. They might feel tough at first, but your saliva will soften them up quickly. You'll notice a bold, spicy, and slightly stinging flavor. Your goal is to chew them into a paste and keep it in your mouth for exactly 60 seconds. Ideally, you should hold that paste under your tongue. Why? Because right under the tongue, there is a dense network of blood vessels, and the lining is very thin. When you hold the crushed cloves there, the healing eugenol and essential oils are absorbed directly into your bloodstream. They bypass the digestive system and the liver entirely. This is known as the sublingual method. It's the same technique doctors use to deliver medication instantly, like putting a pill under the tongue during a heart attack. Within just 60 seconds, the cloves' essential oils enter your system and start working immediately. What exactly happens inside your body during those 60 seconds? The moment the clove oil is absorbed under your tongue, you'll notice a slight numbness in your mouth. Don't worry. That's just the eugenol's natural anesthetic properties going to work. Your bloodstream carries this natural antispasmodic throughout your entire system, and within minutes it reaches the pelvic area. The nerve receptors in your bladder, which may have been on edge all day due to stress or age, finally receive the signal to relax. While the bladder walls ease up, the warming effect actually helps strengthen the sphincter tone. Your nervous system responds as well. Cloves are known for their ability to gently soothe the nerves and lower cortisol levels right before bed. You'll feel a subtle inner warmth as your body prepares for a deep, restful sleep. After chewing thoroughly for 1 minute, simply swallow the rest with just a small sip of warm water. That's the entire ritual. It takes exactly 1 minute before you brush your teeth and head to bed. To maximize the benefits, Avicenna suggested adding one more crucial element to this routine. Simple, raw pumpkin seeds. Why pumpkin seeds? Because they are a powerhouse of zinc. Zinc is the single most important mineral for men's health and proper prostate function. It helps reduce inflammation and can even shrink an enlarged prostate, relieving pressure on the urethra. But it's just as vital for women, as it strengthens the ligaments and muscles of the pelvic floor. On top of that, pumpkin seeds contain unique fatty acids and phytosterols that improve bladder elasticity. Here is the perfect way to do it. About an hour before bed, eat a small handful of raw, shelled pumpkin seeds, roughly 20 to 30 pieces. Be sure to chew them thoroughly. Then right before you go to sleep, take 2 whole cloves and perform our 60-second sublingual ritual. The combination of zinc from the seeds and eugenol from the cloves creates a powerful synergistic effect. Let's look at some common mistakes that can completely ruin the benefits of this method. First, never use old, stale cloves. If they've been sitting in your spice rack for years, the essential oils are long gone. Here's a quick quality test. Drop a clove into a glass of water. High-quality cloves will either sink or float vertically, head up. If it's floating horizontally, it's dried out and useless, basically just a scrap of wood. Do yourself a favor and buy a fresh pack. The second mistake is chewing the clove too fast or swallowing it immediately. Remember, you need 60 seconds in the sublingual area under your tongue. This is crucial for proper absorption. Third, don't wash it down with a full glass of water. You've just relaxed your bladder, so don't overwhelm it with a lot of fluid right away. 1 small sip of warm water to clear your throat is all you need. And finally, don't expect an instant miracle if you've just downed a liter of beer or a bunch of strong tea. Avicenna's method works best when you use a little common sense. So what can you expect on that very first night? Many people notice a difference right away. You'll go through your usual evening routine, but with one small addition: chew on a clove before heading to bed. You might find it a bit easier to drift off, as the natural aroma of cloves helps quiet the mind. Usually you might wake up after 3 hours like clockwork. No, this time your brain won't hit the panic button. Your bladder stays relaxed, allowing it to hold more fluid comfortably. You could find yourself sleeping until 5 or 6 in the morning, and some people even make it all the way until their alarm goes off. Of course, everyone's body is different. If you've been struggling with this for years, it will take some time for your bladder to retrain itself. In that first week, you might only get up once instead of 3 times. And honestly, that is a huge win. The key is consistency. This method has a cumulative effect. The essential oils work over time to soothe chronic inflammation and help your body's receptors function properly again. Night after night, your sleep will only get deeper and more restorative. Now let's talk about the transformation waiting for you down the road. Imagine your life just 1 month from now, after using this simple secret from Avicenna every single day. You'll stop dreading the night. No more denying yourself a sip of water in the evening. Your bladder will finally become your ally again, rather than a demanding dictator. But the most important change is what happens to your overall health. You'll start getting a full, uninterrupted 8 hours of sleep. Your cortisol levels will drop, and that heavy daytime fatigue will finally lift. Your mind will feel sharp and clear, and you'll notice your mood naturally start to brighten. Many people even find that excess weight starts to drop off once their sleep is regulated and their hormones return to balance. Your immune system will get stronger too, helping you stay resilient against every cold that goes around. And all of this happens simply because you've removed that one major disruption, those constant midnight trips to the bathroom. It's a perfect example of how ancient medical wisdom can repair the complex systems of our body through the simplest of means. Now we must talk about safety and contraindications. Cloves are incredibly potent, and they're not for everyone. So, who should be cautious? First and foremost, anyone with stomach ulcers or active gastritis. The essential oils are very concentrated and can irritate the stomach lining if you swallow the mixture. This method is also not recommended for pregnant women, as cloves can affect uterine tone. And if you have any known spice allergies, start with just a tiny piece of a bud first to check your reaction. It's also vital to remember, if your nighttime urges are accompanied by sharp pain, blood in the urine, or a fever, cloves are not the answer. These are red flags for an acute urinary tract infection or kidney stones. In these situations, you need to see a doctor immediately rather than attempting home remedies. The Avicenna secret is meant for chronic overactive bladder, Dodge-related changes, or issues caused by stress. It's designed to restore your body's natural balance, but it is never a substitute for emergency medical care. Let's break down the routine so you can start tonight. Step 1. Sometime during the day, or about an hour before bed, eat a handful of raw pumpkin seeds. They're packed with zinc, which is essential for your recovery. Step 2. An hour before sleep, dim the lights and put away your phone. This helps lower your cortisol levels and signals your body to start producing melatonin. Step 3. Head to the bathroom, finish your nightly routine, and brush your teeth. Step 4. The most important part. Take 1 or 2 whole cloves and put them in your mouth. Chew them slowly, then hold the pulp under your tongue. Count to 60. You'll notice a spicy flavor and a slight numbing sensation. That's perfectly normal. Step 5. Swallow and take just 1 small sip of room temperature water. That's it. You've now given your bladder a protective shield, and the signal to relax. Now you're ready for bed. Try making this a habit for at least 2 weeks. You'll be amazed at how much it improves the quality of your sleep, and how much better you'll feel the entire next day. Interestingly enough, modern medicine operates on very similar principles. Take medications for an overactive bladder, for example. Drugs known as anticholinergics or antispasmodics. Their goal is exactly the same: to relax the bladder muscles. However, these synthetic drugs often come with a long list of side effects, including severe dry mouth, constipation, blurred vision, and even a racing heart. They essentially force a reaction from your nervous system. In contrast, the method proposed by Avicenna relies on gentle, natural regulators. The eugenol found in cloves acts with precision and is processed quickly by the body, meaning it doesn't leave a toxic buildup in your liver. You get the relief you need without the collateral damage to your other organs. This is what we call the wisdom of nature. Nature has already provided us with the perfect remedies. We just need to remember how to use them correctly. Sublingual spice absorption is one of those forgotten yet incredibly powerful keys to our health. To wrap things up, here is the bottom line. Your health is in your own hands. You shouldn't have to settle for anything that diminishes your quality of life. Waking up throughout the night is not something you just have to live with. It's a problem that can and should be fixed. The ancient wisdom of Avicenna, proven over centuries, gives us a simple yet powerful tool: cloves and pumpkin seeds. It's a matter of warmth against cold and relaxation against tension. When we combine a basic understanding of our biology with the gifts of nature, the results can be truly life-changing. Don't overlook this remedy just because it seems too simple. Often the simplest solutions are the most effective. Give this method a chance. Spend just 1 minute of your time tonight on this, and your body will be deeply grateful. You deserve to sleep soundly, to have peaceful dreams, and to wake up feeling recharged and ready for the day. Start using this 60-second rule tonight and take back control over your body and your sleep. Let's bring it all together. We've just uncovered one of the most remarkable secrets of ancient medicine. It turns out, you don't need a handful of pills to end those frequent nightly trips to the bathroom. All it takes is a simple 1-minute ritual. The core of Avicenna's method is to relieve bladder spasms and eliminate what's known as bladder chill. Here's how you do it. Take 2 dried whole cloves. Chew them thoroughly right before bed and hold them under your tongue for exactly 60 seconds. The essential oil, eugenol, is absorbed instantly into your bloodstream. It acts as a powerful natural antispasmodic, calming the bladder walls and blocking those false urges. Now, if you add pumpkin seeds to your diet as well, you'll flood your system with zinc, which strengthens the prostate and the pelvic floor muscles. This incredibly simple yet science-backed duo restores the one thing we all need: deep, uninterrupted, and restorative sleep. Amazing, isn't it? The solution you've been looking for at the pharmacy has been sitting in your kitchen this whole time. Thank you so much for watching until the end. Your health truly is in your hands. If you found this helpful, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more longevity secrets. Give this video a like. It really helps us keep making these for you. And most importantly, Let me know in the comments. Did you know about this use for cloves? And are you going to give it a try tonight? I'm looking forward to your answers. Let's talk about it.